We are back. Please welcome to the cage for your next fight, Ciron Harrison.
All right, thank you everyone for sticking. Thank you everyone for sticking with us on our Fury FC 64 prelims broadcast. And now we're gonna head to the pros. Ciron Harrison making his debut professionally. Had a really good amateur career, went 2-0. Has a really good kickboxing background. Fighting out of Chicago, Muay Thai and kickboxing. I believe our first Chicago fighter on Fury.
Yeah, maybe so. He, you know, this guy, like you said, was 2-0 as an amateur in MMA, but had the 6-2 kickboxing record also. Won his amateur fights by decision and armbar, so showing a very well-rounded fighting acumen here. Calls himself Bro Cop. I don't know where that comes from, but pretty cool nickname there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was really looking forward to this fight. This is a great professional opener for this fight card. You know, the guy's got a unique frame and unique style for the for the featherweight. You know, he's fighting a very game Justice Torres, who is kind of a pressure fighter, more of a grappling style with good striking. So it seems like we got two guys with good striking, both guys seasoned on the ground. And one thing we see in Harrison is he's tall. He's tall for the weight class, and he prefers that Muay Thai style. So I'm sure the game plan is, can he keep it standing, or can Torres get him to the ground? But we're in for a really high-level opening pro bout tonight.
Yeah, and you see a 3-0, Alex, against a debut. What that tells me is nobody wanted this guy on his debut, and Justice Torres at 3-0 said, I'll take it.
Heck yeah, that's how you got to make waves here in Fury.
Ciron also had 8 kickboxing bouts during a span of 2015 and 2017. Obviously training out of Muay Thai and kickboxing, Chicago Muay Thai and kickboxing, so he has a striking background, making his Fury debut and professional debut. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome to the red corner, Justice Torres.
Now you know you're going to get some Houston jams with Justice Torres, Houston's own. Has been waiting so long to get back in the cage. Last time we saw him, he had a tough win over Kaleo Meheula at FC 55. Justice Torres bringing out his son as well. Love seeing that. See Michael Aswell in his corner, fighting a little bit later on our main card.
Yeah, those guys shouldn't be out here. They need to go back there and rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. In his corner, you got Oliver Jimenez, you got Cameron Smotherman, you got Adrian Yanez, and you got Aswell. All these guys, coaches, yes, but all fighters in their own right. It's cool. They got a fighters and coaches amalgamated corner. Shows these guys ready to rock and roll. They train together. They coach each other. It's going to be a fun fight.
Metro Fight Club has a busy night tonight. Our tale of the tape brought to you by Sheath Underwear. The 28-year-old Ciron Harrison with the 3-inch height advantage and the reach advantage as well. 4-inch height advantage, right? Yeah, 4 inches on the height. And the weight, everyone, 5 inches on the height. Yeah, you know, I was calculating, as I said it, I was like, that didn't sound right. But 5-inch reach advantage for the striker, Ciron Harrison. Justice Torres, so excited to see him back in and see what he has, trying to move his record to 4-0. Let's go inside the cage for our official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next fight, brought to you by CleanAthlete.org, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Featherweight Division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, and he weighed in at 146 pounds. Fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, today he makes his professional debut. This is the Pariah, Ciron Harrison. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, and he weighed in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he's undefeated as a pro with a record of 3 wins, no losses. This is Justice Torres. Your referee in charge of the action, Jeff Rexroad.
Blue gloves for Ciron Harrison, red for Justice Torres. We have ourselves a fight.
Two southpaws. You see Ciron already leading with that classic low kick. You know, usually southpaws fight right-handed fighters, so it changes the dynamic of the low kicks. One thing I've noticed with natural southpaws is they're often not comfortable fighting other southpaws and dealing with that low kick. And you see Ciron, you can tell he does a lot of kickboxing, trains with a lot of southpaws. He seemed very comfortable landing a kick, getting out of the way. And expect Torres to really try to like cover distance quick.
Torres so quick, and there's a little snapshot of that. And that is, Harrison is a super long fighter here for this division, as you mentioned earlier, but to see it, you can see the advantages there.
Yeah, and he's not just long. He's also got a bit of muscle on him. Torres comes in big with the left hand, but Ciron is ready to counter. Landing some good punches on the exit. Sometimes when guys are really tall for the weight class, they can lean and sometimes get kind of played with in the clinch. But Ciron seems to really understand his body type, and it looks like he's tacked on just about as much muscle as you can, considering the height difference.
Yeah, at first I thought, whenever I saw his weight, I thought maybe he needs to go up to 155, but I think 145 is good for him, even though he's a taller fighter. I think he'd have to put on even more muscle to be a competitive at 155. But Justice Torres, as expected, closes the distance here and trying to get this fight to the ground. He's had enough of that long reach.
Yeah, that was good chain wrestling. Justice shot in on that lead leg with his head on the outside. He hit that high C, transition off of the double. Then he just went for like a body lock kind of dump. Not really a lat drop, but I mean, it worked off beautifully because Ciron was giving him a pretty good reaction there on those takedowns, and Justice was not about to waste that energy. He was successful able to get this fight to the ground, and you can see that was their game plan.
Yeah, and Ciron had that left foot hooked in underneath the back of the thigh of Justice Torres, and it looks like he let it go, but you know, something like that is really good for you to make space, and which is what you need whenever Justice Torres is trying to wrestle you and keep that ground control.
You know, as a more seasoned pro, this position is something I'm looking to get away from more and more if I'm on bottom, is the close guard. Like, close guard is great to maintain control, and you can mitigate a lot of potential damage, but you are like cementing your fate on bottom. And just in MMA, it's as clear as day. If you are on bottom, you are losing. Even if you're landing like better strikes from bottom guard, you're still losing. And top control is everything. The counter, though, is can you successfully attack submissions?
Oh.
And this is a fully figure four triangle.
Justice with a slam there.
Didn't get the knockout, though. I mean, that's the risk. The angle's tight. The figure four's in. He's got a strong, fresh fighter with long limbs in deep. Justice tries another slam. I mean, this can be dangerous. Justice getting his right elbow to the outside, trying to give his neck a little bit of space. But, I mean, this is as bad as it gets. I mean, Michael, you know, this triangle is bad news for Justice Torres. It is fully locked.
Yeah, it is.
Man,
and
Harrison.
the only thing is sometimes those legs can be a little bit too long, so you're leaving a little bit of space there, and Justice Torres seems to be able to find it. But you can see Ciron Harrison is pretty savvy on the ground.
Yeah,
you know, we were expecting a kickboxer to come in here. We said he won by armbar in one of his amateur fights, but looks like a savvy grappler.
Michael, at what point, sorry Alex, at what point do you give this up though? Because it's starting to get loose, and do you want to fatigue anything there?
I don't think you give it up at all. There's not a lot of, it's basically just changing angles at this point.
Oh, he's on the head.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
getting the arm,
very, very
getting the arm across is something you can maybe make it a little tighter with. But I mean, he's got it figure four. Those quads are super engaged on those carotid arteries. Now he's yanking on the head. Justice doing a good job smothering him. But I mean, this is deep. This is bad news. You know, if you're on top and guard, you got to be considered worst case scenario, with the exception of actually getting tapped. I mean, this is locked, and he's out.
And now he's out. Good work from Justice Torres, escaping what looked like the end of the fight. Man, good work from Torres.
Torres does have a bit of a scrape, maybe a cut under his left eye. Be curious to see what it's from, but now he's on top. There's enough time to get some pop shots in. He's got about 20 seconds to work, and he tries to go for the
Torres.
Here we go.
This is under the chin. You see Justice is squeezing. I mean, he can finish this. There's time.
Oh, there it is! A comeback win for Justice Torres. Escapes the triangle and gets the tap. in front of the hometown crowd, Justice Torres. What just happened, Alex?
Man, I mean, he went from worst case triangle to best case rear naked choke. Huge comeback win with only 10 seconds left. That was awesome.
Man, Justice is emotional in the ring. I haven't seen him like this. That was incredible, Michael.
Yeah, and that was Siren Harrison's fight to lose. I mean, he gave that fight away almost. Alex, what I think happened is he looked at the clock as soon as he saw he got out, saw there was 20 seconds left, and I think he just tried to survive. I think he didn't try to go on offense. He didn't try to get up. He didn't try anything. I think his plan was to stall for that last 20 seconds, and Justice Torres maybe picked up on it from his body language. See that big slam here? And you see that, Alex, that leg is a little bit far down his back.
Yeah.
And so it's not able to get it. Justice Torres comes in there, pulls, pushes those hips forward, gets that rear naked choke. Nice finish from Justice Torres.
Well-earned victory there for Torres. He should be every bit proud of that submission finish because he was losing that round.
But I tell you what, Siren Harrison, there's a new featherweight on there. Siren Harrison is something to be dealt with at that featherweight division.
Man, what a comeback. Let's make this official. Here's Wayne Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jeff Rexroth calls for a stop to the action. 4 minutes, 45 seconds into the very first round. Declaring your winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke, Justice Torres.
Man, congratulations to Justice Torres on that incredible come from behind win. Moves his record to 4-0. Wow, what a fight. And you see his son excited, got the fresh fade. Love seeing that. That's a memorable moment for not only father but son. Let's go inside to Wayne to meet our next fighter.
Please welcome to the blue corner for your next fight, Jason Mullen.
This is going to be the final fight of our prelims before we head to UFC Fight Pass for Fury FC 64 Joe versus Moran. But right now, making his way to the cage is Jason Mullen. Michael, last time we saw him, got a tough loss against Matt Jones at Fury FC 62 in Colorado.
Yeah, lost by Darce choke. All of his wins and all of his losses are by submission. So this guy will get into grappling exchanges. You know, you can see by his record, in those grappling exchanges, he has a tendency to make a few mistakes, but also capitalizes on those opportunities whenever he sees them. So, you know, something I like to see, a risk taker. Maybe he's got a little bit of improvement to do on technique, but this guy's good.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say maybe the biggest hurdle he's going to have to deal with in this fight is this is a lightweight fight. I know it's put together a little shorter notice, but the guy he's fighting in King Millie is a true lightweight, and he's a big lightweight. So we got a featherweight moving up a weight class to fight a true lightweight who's naturally big. I've seen the size difference between these guys, and he's going to have his hands full trying to be physical and out-wrestle his opponent.
Fighting out of Factory X, training out of there. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome to the red corner, Chris Miller.
Chris Miller, his opponent, also known as Millie, King Millie. 2-5 record, has been fighting since 2015, had that 4-4 record from 2015 and 2018 as an amateur. Here's an interesting note. He took this fight on Monday. So, and as you mentioned, that natural weight, you know, this is what he walks around at, so.
Yeah, way to stay in shape. I know he stays active. I actually had just trained with him, I want to say maybe last Thursday, and he's good. He's with War, and those guys got great wrestling. They're just always in the gym working. Millie, preferred striker. But just going to show you guys what I was talking about, he's 6'2", 80-inch reach. I mean, I had no clue. That makes sense now, too, because I struggle to make contact with him because he's long. And he is seasoned. When you look at his record, do not be fooled. I mean, he's 2-5, but that's all high-level competition.
Our Taylor Tape brought to you by Bump Box, and as you mentioned, that height difference, 6'2" versus 5'8". quick math on that, guys. That's 6 inches. There you go. I nailed that one. And the reach advantage, 80 inches versus 68. And Michael, as you mentioned, that what's going to happen with that reach advantage, we'll find out. But let's get our official introductions. Here's Wayne Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, brought to you by Private Label, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Lightweight Division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist is 5 feet 8 inches tall, and he weighed in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Youngstown, Ohio, he holds a professional record of 4 wins, 3 losses. This is Jason Cassius Mullen! In introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, and he weighed in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, today he seeks his 3rd win as a pro. This is King Millie, Christopher Miller! Your referee in charge, Patrick Patlon.
Love seeing this 8th fight for both guys in their professional career. Christopher Miller with those red gloves, Jason Mullen with the blue gloves.
Yeah, one thing you'll see Millie, he'll fight from both stances. He utilizes good traditional martial arts. I'm not too sure if that punch hurt him or if he just maybe fell off balance a bit.
That Chris Miller, a Taekwondo black belt, blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu. So again, at 36 years old, he sent me a message saying he's trying to finish out his career as an MMA fighter. Wants to go out with a couple of wins. He's definitely got a good opportunity here as the bigger fighter against Jason Mullen.
He's got an anaconda locked up. I mean, the figure 4 is locked, but the position was a little, out of place. And one thing I've noticed in training with Millie, his wrestling's gotten better. His submissions have gotten better. He's no longer just a striker. He's very well-rounded. And this is that reach. Oh, and you're getting a bad reaction there out of his opponent. I mean, I hope Millie doesn't burn too much energy if it's not in. Now he's going to a classic guillotine. Now it's just more of like a modified guillotine.
I think he's just trying to rip his head off now.
Jason Mullen had that good first round against Matt Jones at FC 62. Then the conditioning started to wear down a little bit. Something that I know he's been working on. We'll see how that works.
Look out.
Oh, here we go. What do we got, Michael?
Yeah, beautiful transition going to that inside heel hook and gets the tap.
That's it. Wow, a quick tap. Jason Mullen showcasing what he's been working on.
Man,
wow.
That was a risky entry and it paid off for him. You don't see that often.
And let me tell you something. That is a typical jiu-jitsu move of a smaller guy fighting a bigger guy. You're kind of using what you have and the position that you have. He does a great job in that transition. Yeah, you're right, Alex. It's very, very risky. Not only it's risky for the win-loss portion of it, but it's also risky because you can injure your opponent, quite a bit. So quite a few times people that don't know how to do that entry will injure their opponents. I know that doesn't apply here in MMA. If he gets injured, he gets injured. But yeah, beautiful injury, beautiful heel hook.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see him in, Millie actually utilizing good wrestling and jiu-jitsu early on. This was a deep choke.
He immediately knew what he was going for.
Yeah, in this instance, those long legs kind of worked against Chris Miller.
Man, congratulations to Jason Mullen on that huge win. With that, he's got wins over Kyle Broadwater. He beat El Kasari with submissions as well. So Jason Mullen, you mentioned that background. He's showing it off now. Let's make this official. Here is Wayne.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes. 1 minute, 33 seconds into the very first round, declaring a winner by tap out due to a heel hook, Jason Cassius Mullen.
All right, so that is it for our prelims. By the way, 4:30, don't forget, we are heading to UFC Fight Pass for Fury Fighting Championship 64, Doe versus Moran. That is our main event, but we also have Cameron Smotherman on this card. Michael Aswell taking on one of his toughest opponents in Frank Mino. And then the heavyweight bout that I'm excited about, Jose Evans against Ricardo Evangelista. Guys, this card is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this one for sure. Make sure that you stay tuned. Tune in on UFC Fight Pass. This is going to be a good one.
Get your subscriptions in right now. We will be there at 4:30. So we're going to take a quick break. If you're watching the stream, don't forget to join us at 4:30 p.m. This gives you if you got some time off right now, go subscribe to the new Fury FC podcast as well, Fury Unleashed. And here's our final look at this great prelim card. Congratulations to all the winners. What a great way to get us going here in Houston. We will be back on UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. For our entire production crew, for Alex Morano and Michael Alexander, I'm Rahil Ramsanali. We will see you on UFC Fight Pass for Fury FC 64, Doe versus Moran.